have a dog? A cat, then? Rabbit? A horse? Gorilla?
Sorry, what?
I've just gone off the whole thing.
What whole thing?
I had this sudden urge
To do what?
to own a pet. But I realized it wouldn't solve anything.
What are you trying to solve now?
Conversation.
Oh.
I mean, I can carry on by myself for weeks, and then suddenly I have this need to be talked back to. For instance, if I say, "Can I have a dog?" and somebody says no, then I drop the subject of the dog and go on to something else. But when there's nobody to say no, the whole thing gets out of control, and the next thing you know, I've worked my way up to a gorilla. And you turn to me with that doom-laden look and you say...
A gorilla?
There's... You think I want a gorilla. I don't want a gorilla. I'm terrified of gorillas.
Liz, what are you talking about?
I just want a dog.
Oh. I see. Have you ever had a dog?
No?
I have. They're a lot of trouble.
What kind of trouble?
You have to feed them. Groom them, exercise them.
I do all that for you. I'll do it for him.
You don't have to take me around the block every night, do you?
I don't have to iron his shirts every day, do I? That's no argument.
They're a tie. You can't go anywhere when you've got a dog.
We don't go anywhere now.
We went to the Lamberts for dinner last night.
That's not going somewhere.
We got into the car, we switched on the engine, and we drove 6 miles. That is going somewhere.
When you were with Alice, she had a dog.
I was married to Alice.
You'll be married to me when your divorce comes through. Will I get a dog then?
Liz, everything I did with Alice was a mistake.
Your children? Were they mistakes too?
Of course they weren't mistakes. Well, Alison wasn't. Look, I want it all to be different with you.
There's a limit, Leo, to how different it can be. I mean, my one terrible disadvantage is the one thing I have in common with Alice is we are both women. I want what women want, what Alice had. I want a white wedding, a honeymoon, a house, children, and a dog.
But, Liz, I'm...
50, I know. You'll have to be quick then, won't you?
You haven't got much going for you, have you? I bet your mother was a right little slut. Fred. That's what I'll call you. I love you, Fred. God, he's peed on the seat.
Sit down, would you? There you are. Got much on today?
A couple of appendectomies and a laparotomy. Oh, and there's some chap who's come off his motorbike, needs tidying up a bit. Here, let me.
Oh.
And you?
Oh, nothing urgent. The old buzzers are going in the maternity section, I see. They've all gone into labour at the same time. It's amazing how the modern woman copes with birth. It's not like the old days of yelling and screaming. This lot here have all been to relaxation classes. They just lie there wearing a transcendental smile while we grapple on the floor with hysterical husbands. They'll be squatting by the roadside next and thumbing a lift home.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Funny how women have changed. Liz sat in that kitchen this morning exerting herself. I want this, she said, and that. A sort of fragile soprano figure making great baritone noises.
I remember the time when Helen used to stay at home all day getting her lemon meringue right. Now she belongs to some frightening women's movement. They stand in this little hall like iron girders, plotting against man.
If only Alice had done something like that, it might have been easier. It's hard to explain to the perfect housewife that her antiseptic house is a pain in the arse. I used to sit at that dinner table, mesmerized by its perfection. Glazed carrots lying in their little dish, all pointing north. Mosaic peas, a tidy cauliflower, and some poor chicken thoroughly stuffed and wearing frilly white garters. I used to pray that when she took her souffle out of the oven, it would cave in, but it never did. Wore its terrified look right to the end.
Well, at least you had the guts to leave, to start again.
I didn't intend to start again. I was just beginning to enjoy the selfish existence. Life, I observed, was marching on. I had arrived at the top of the hill, somewhat threadbare, and the journey down was going to be uncluttered with emotion. And there she was, young, energetic.
Sexy?
Sexy, yes. The ultimate trap. And I walked right into it. Now she squats in my life, disarranging it, brightening it, confusing it.
Men of your age have been known to expire in a young girl's bed.
Better to die living than live dying, they said.
Women, will we ever rule again? Helen wears baggy trousers.
What, khaki?
With zips.
Army shirts?
Calico belts.
Gestapo boots.
She's 49.
Cheers.
Cheers.
He's a very beautiful dog, isn't he?
Yes.
He's not a pedigree. Well, his face is, but something went wrong.
At the other end, yes, I can see.
He's a cross between an old English sheepdog and an old Indian carpet. Still, that's a good thing, isn't it? Because at least no one will steal him.
I wish you'd waited, that's all.
Waited? What for?
Until we're sorted out.
I don't know what you mean, sorted out. Oh, I see. You mean until you're sorted out. Till your divorce comes through, until your wife finally nods her head and lets you breathe, all that.
Yeah, all that.
Look, what difference does a little dog make?
It's something else, isn't it? It's another responsibility, another thing to worry about. This came today.
Dear Daddy, I'm afraid I don't know your flat address, so I'm leaving this at the hospital. In short, Larry and I have split up and I need to come home. Thing is, I don't feel I can face Mummy's endless I-told-you-sos. Could I stay with you just for a couple of days until I get back on my feet? Please, Daddy, call me. Love, Alison.
Doesn't she like dogs, then?
That's not the point. Look, I have my work, which is complicated. I have my wife. She's complicated. And I have two daughters. One is living in a bed sit with a lunatic who plays the drums very badly and dips his hair in super glue. The other has been married for 2 years to a chap who's always had an identity crisis, but who has now decided he's a homosexual. I have you, and now it seems I have him.
I embarrass you, don't I?
You don't embarrass me. I embarrass me.
And you haven't told your daughters about me.
That has nothing to do with it either. No, I haven't.
Why?
I suppose I didn't want my daughters to think of me as a middle-aged man frantically trying to lasso his escaped youth. I expect we'll talk about it today.
We?
Alison and I.
I hate that word, we. It means me and my wife, me and my daughters, me and the medical profession. I'm always locked out.
You're not locked out. And today you were locked out. Look, Liz, I didn't tell them because I wasn't sure of you. I mean, I could walk into this flat one night and find a "Dear Leo, I've changed my mind" note, couldn't I?
You haven't so far, have you?
But I could, couldn't I? I wanted to wait until the divorce and then explain to them by marrying you.
You're terrified of that word, aren't you?
Marrying. Just before you say it, your face looks like it's waiting to be hit by a cricket ball.
Yes. Well, no matter how expertly my mind philosophizes about life, my face still won't seem to come to terms with it.
We'll move out. Fred and me.
Move out? What do you mean?
Move out. Go. Leave.
I don't want you to move out.
Oh, we'll come back when you sort it out.
No, I want you here.
We don't want to complicate your life.
You're not, for heaven's sake.
We don't want to shout.
I am not shouting. Oh, God, this is nonsense. Look, I'll call Alison and tell her that you and I will be pleased to see her.
We don't want to be here when she comes.
We? Why do you keep saying we?
Because there are two of us.
I thought I'd tell you rather than you find out.
Why? Why your flat? This is her home.
Probably she wants to be alone. I'm out all day, you're not.
They don't care, that's the truth. Alison, Jane, you, none of you care. Well, why should you? You've all got your people, someone to wake up with. And I've got Terry Wogan. The world is full of couples. Everywhere you go, two of everything. 2 people, 2 children, 2 dogs, 2 ducks.
Yes. Alison will be arriving tomorrow. I've no doubt she'll call you.
It's disgusting. My daughter in your flat with her.
Her won't be there.
Oh, you mean she's gone? I told you. A young puppy soon gets bored with an old dog. I said it at the time. All she can give you is a boosted ego and relentless sex. Which is fine, except that it's usually closely followed by a heart attack. Which is fine if all you want to do is go out of this world with a surprised look on your face. We all have to learn, don't we? Perhaps one day, Leo, you will come to value the things you had. The things we had when we were a couple.
Being a couple, Alice, doesn't solve everything.
It seems to have solved everything for you.
We will see.
We will see, we will see. You speak as though you've got all the time in the world. It's September for you, Leo. At least it's only August for me.
What's happening now? Are we going into the calendar business?
Oh, funny joke. Leo's being funny.
Roll on December.
And when December comes, Leo, shall I be lying in my grave alone? Or will you be joining me?
Alice, I haven't sorted out this life yet. Don't ask me to start planning the next.
It's all paid for. The plot beneath the willows, I've got the deeds.
Could we save this conversation for another visit?
Just as you like, only I'm warning you there's no room for her.
The reason Larry and Alison have split up is because he thinks he's a homosexual.
Thinks? Doesn't he know?
Apparently not.
You mean he married our daughter knowing he was neither one thing nor the other?
I don't know why he married her. I don't know why she married him. Do any of us know why we do anything?
I know why I married you.
Alice, it frightens me when you arrange yourself like that. It makes me feel like a rabbit that's just met up with a ferret.
I married you because you were insanely passionate. Well, fairly passionate. Perhaps passionate's the wrong word. Smouldering.
I don't know where you get these fantasies from. I was neither passionate nor smouldering. Conscientious, perhaps.
Do you remember Mallorca?
Alice, we are not going to do another world tour of where we kissed, where we touched, where we
We
first...
swam in a pool
I must go.
at midnight,
I have a busy day at the hospital.
naked.
I was naked, Alice. You were safely entombed in a swimsuit.
Let's try again, Leo. We need each other, you, me, and the children.
It was black and impenetrable, rather like a Security Corps van.
What was?
Your swimsuit.
No! That way! Go on! All right, come on. Come here. I wonder what goes on inside your head. Can you remember bad things? Or look forward to nice things? Or can you only think of now? You'll get to like Leo. He's a serious man. I met him a year ago. He packed all his emotions into a life-proof suitcase, and he was going to spend the rest of his time at the hospital mending people. He resents me, really. I'm an intruder, you see. I made him unpack that case, and now he can't get his emotions back into it. I love you, Fred.
Well, I didn't expect to be having breakfast with both my daughters.
You're weird, isn't it?
I mean, Ali must have come to the conclusion that Larry was a pig. At the same time, I decided Justin was a
Jane. So, here we are.
Like old times.
All we need is Mother.
Strange, I expected you both to cry. Isn't that what women do when a relationship ends?
No, mine didn't end. It sort of dried out. I started off thinking, I want to love you, I want to marry you, I want to own you. Yesterday I looked at him and I thought, I want to kill you. I knew it was time to leave.
Me? Who can cry over a guy who keeps chatting up the milkman?
Yes. Well, love, I'm afraid, is one of those painful things we have to experience in life. Rather like banging your toe on a chair. You made any plans, either of you?
Well, I had hoped just to come home.
Yeah, me too. That's about it.
Home?
With you and Mummy, or with Mummy, or with you?
Or whatever home is right now.
I think I ought to talk to you about Liz.
Liz.
She's 24.
I really can't cope with all this information, Daddy.
She lives here in this flat with me.
Oh, you mean you have an au pair?
No, I do not mean that.
You mean she lives here, in this flat, with you?
That's what I mean, yes.
But she's younger than me.
That had occurred to me, yes. Now, please say what you have on your mind. You can begin with my age, if you like.
It's just you're not the type. Well, you're sort of... Well, you should be taking things easy.
Enjoying yourself, but not too much.
You mean I should retire from life like an old horse?
Oh, no, not that. Funny how families can lose touch, isn't it? I mean, there I was thinking my sister was safely married. My father was safely thinking things out. My mother was safely preparing herself for his safe return. Oh, poor Mummy.
I've been totally honest with your mother. It wasn't the most dignified moment in our life. We kept a degree of calm, but we don't have a cut glass vase anymore.
She broke all the cut glass.
She broke most of it, yeah. And in the form of a mild protest, I maimed the rest.
Well.
I take it I have your approval. Oh, perhaps not your approval, but a fragment of your understanding. Oh. Your disapproval.
As long as you're not a sugar daddy. Well, you are rich, and you are a surgeon.
And you're good looking, too.
You have status. A house, a flat, a car.
And a sexy voice. Mother always said you had a sexy voice.
There are two times in a man's life. One is puberty, when he's not sure what he is, boy or man. The other is 50, when he's not sure what he is, man or old man. At 50, like puberty, you can so easily become what other people make you. Thanks to Liz, I have become ageless, courageous. Courageous enough to look at my daughters, who make me nervous, and say, go and get on with your lives and let me get on with mine. You can stay at the house with your mother if you wish. Or if she wishes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
More toast?
Going to marry, Liz?
Yes.
Have children?
Yes.
Aren't you scared?
Yes.
Really, you realise by the time he's 70, he could have 2 more like us.
I'm grateful to you, Shirley. I'll pay you back one day.
That thing came into the bedroom and licked all my night cream off at 4:30 this morning.
Oh, God, I wish my face would wake up with the rest of me.
And that other thing started singing at 5:30. It's like living with a bloody circus act.
I'll clean up for you while you're out.
Well, don't overdo it. It's taken me years of despondency to inflict my personality on this place.
I feel very calm about everything. I expect it's having Fred to talk to.
They're very perceptive dogs. I had one once. I was going out with Steve at the time. One night, he told me he didn't want to see me anymore. Things weren't working out, he said, and he didn't want to fuss. So I sat there silently while he put his clothes on. And he went through that ritual that men always go through, you know, scooping all the small change off the dressing table, putting his comb in this pocket and his keys in that. And then he stood by the bedroom door, trying to look like Dustin Hoffman. "You're a very understanding woman," he said. "I won't forget tonight." He wasn't wrong. The dog bit him on the way out. He must have been squatting underneath that chair like an Olympic runner waiting for the gun to go off. I couldn't separate them. They left the flat together, and if it weren't for the lift doors, they'd have gone home together.
Oh, God, I look like a cracked ceiling when I've laughed.
Oh, I never use those magnifying mirrors, ever since I discovered my moustache.
Men are lucky, aren't they, being allowed to grow hairs on their faces? Mind you, if I was going out with a bearded chap, I'd make him shave it off so as I could see what I was getting.
The worst moment for us is when we have to take our makeup off and then they can see what they're getting.
Things aren't so complicated for a man. I mean, after a spontaneous burst of passion, all he has to do is climb into his clothes, smooth down his hair, and he's back to normal. Whereas we've got our tights.
In a knot somewhere on the floor.
Brass caught round your ankle.
Knickers hanging from the light fitting. If you're lucky.
But worst of all, your blusher's all rubbed off, so you're sitting there with no cheekbones.
That's what's wrong with casual sex. There's no conversation. I mean, by the time we've got ourselves back together again, they've gone home.
Yeah. I suppose the most exciting part is the lead-up.
The walk in the park.
The red rose.
The telephone call. The telephone call. Hello?
Shirley, is Liz there?
Oh, hi, Leo. Yeah, she's right here. Hang on. It's Leo.
Leo?
Hello. Liz, you coming home tonight?
Already?
Yes, already.
I thought you'd got
I'll tell you all about it later. I've got to get to the hospital now, but I'll be home early.
Leo,
Yeah?
can we meet in the park? You know, that little pavilion where we used to go.
When?
When you're ready.
6:30 then?
6:30. See you.
Hey. How is Fred?
You've got competition.
See you. Hello.
Is Mrs. Carroll there, please?
I'm sorry, Miss Carroll is out. Can I help?
This is the Westbourne Dogs Home here, sir. Miss Carroll was here the day before yesterday, the 17th. She took a young male crossbreed.
Yes, she did.
I'm sorry, sir, but we appear to have found the owners of that particular dog.
It's a bit late, isn't it? The dog had been there for 8 days.
Well, sometimes this happens, sir. Well, Miss Carroll is under no obligation, but they are the rightful owners.
Of course. Of course, we'll return the dog this evening. Sometime after 6:30, is that all right?
Yes, of course, sir. Thank you very much.
Come on, Fred.
Hello. Are you all sorted out now?
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Fred? We're all sorted out. Come on. Isn't he good?